Oh, hello there, Internet. Thank you so much for joining me in this leg workout from Wednesday of this past week. I am starting with a different movement than you would typically see me starting with. No, I am not quitting or changing or stopping my beloved Hatfield squats. They're still my main squeeze. It's just that because I consistently have 2 leg days per week and I want to continue just doing the paused Hatfield squats. It's that then I'm doing paused Hatfield squats 2 times per week, and I like to progress either in weight or reps in some way each session, and so it's just becoming a little bit too daunting with kind of like a warp speed progress, doing it twice a week instead of only once per week. So I thought that I would make one day I would start with the paused Hatfields. The other day I would be starting with what you see here, which is my belt squat. However, it's different than what I was doing with my belt squat previously because now I have these stackable deadlift blocks that you can see here that I'm standing on to help add that range of motion so I can get super deep in these belt squats now. And so it's very, very challenging movement. I feel it is now on par. It is officially now on par with the paused Hatfield squats because I didn't like the idea of having one of my days have all these like killer movements that I really love and I really find effective and that feel great, and then have ones that are like, less than stellar or not bringing their A game. And now the belt squats, they can go toe to toe with the Hatfield ones. Very, very challenging. So I lightened my weight, of course, than what I was doing with my regular belt squats before I added these risers here. I believe it was 170 pounds was the first set. Don't quote me on the reps. I do believe it might have been 10 reps. Then I bumped up to 175 for 9 reps. And then my last set, which I believe is this one, is 180 for a set of 8. So, I mean, not too shabby at all, but definitely challenging. So I'm happy that I've made this change here. I'll just leave the risers on here now. I was considering also using them to do front foot elevated split squat as one of my single leg variations. However, I do find that doing my Bulgarians and the reverse lunge, I just feel those a little better. I'm not just going to throw it out there and say that they're better all around. For me personally, I just feel that they're a little bit more effective and a little bit more challenging and that sort of thing. So those are the 2 single legs variations that I'm going to kind of alternate between. So it just makes my life easier to just keep those risers where they are instead of like putting them in random places throughout my gym. As you can probably tell, that I have enough clutter around my gym as it is. Kind of makes my head explode, but that's all right. Then with my leg press here, first set was 240 for 11, and then 245 for 10. Finished off first time throwing the full 250 on there and got a great set of 9. So I will still keep doing leg press twice a week. I don't find it daunting or overwhelming in the same way to keep like progressing at it. And I just feel that there's other ways with the leg press. If I could have maybe get into like one day doing really high reps up to 20s and that sort of thing, and maybe have the other day be heavier. Like I feel like I could throw changes in that way. But with my Hatfield squats, I have no desire to do 20 reps on my Hatfield squats. I know that some people like these super squats and that kind of thing. It's just like, what, I don't really want to. I don't like the feeling of having a heavy bar on my back for such a long period of time. It's just it's not the torture that I enjoy. There's different kinds of torture that I enjoy, which would be high rep leg press. But having my spine feel like it's compressing with a super long squat sets is not the kind of torture that I enjoy. But also, speaking of torture that I cannot say that I enjoy, I also threw something different in the mix today just to speed things up today. What I did for my Bulgarians is something that I did a while ago and just kind of forgot about it. I think I will do it just randomly on occasion. It's not something I'm going to consistently do. But what I did for my Bulgarians today was I just did the dumbbell Bulgarians. But what I did was I started with 2 20-pound dumbbells in each hand. I did 10 reps, and then I set down one of those dumbbells, and then kind of like this drop set in a way, set down one of the dumbbells, did another 10 reps, which is the 1 20-pound dumbbells. You can see here what I'm talking about. And then I finished off with just body weight until basically I couldn't do it anymore, and just did that for one round, obviously one on each leg. It's soul destroying, y'all. Like, this feels like leg day hell on earth like no other. But it's great for me because it's kind of like quick, you're done and you're destroyed pretty darn quick. And so I'm happy that I did this today. But like I said, I'm not going to consistently do it. I still want to just do my regular SSB Bulgarians. The reason, though, you could see that basically I didn't do any kind of like spine compressing stuff, spinal loading stuff today, is because I was dealing with like a little bit of like upper back sort of seizy stuff, which I mentioned in a previous video. I have no idea what caused it. I have no idea where it came from. And it seemed to just be like getting out of bed. When I would take a deep breath, I just felt like my upper back, it's like this weird kind of pain where I'm like breathing and all of a sudden my upper back feels sort of like jolty seized in a weird way. And I'm completely fine now, but because this workout was from like Wednesday at 5 in the morning, I was not fine at that time. So I decided if I want to get through a leg day, I don't want anything like compressing on my spine. So that's why I got the great idea. I was like, well, we're going to try these belt squats then. And lo and behold, it worked out fantastically. But it's also why I did these Bulgarians here instead of the SSB ones that I typically do. So there you go, some kind of minor tweak, twingy stuff. And honestly, I do think it was just stress. I was doing so much hyperventilating. I think my breathing was off and that kind of thing. So it's like I said, it's totally fine now. But look, it resulted in something positive because I didn't want to hurt myself further. It forced me to do a belt squat variation that I probably wouldn't have been super eager to do anyways. And now I found a fantastic addition to be able to properly swap around different movements on my leg days now. And that's the silver lining, I guess. And oh, I also did RDLs. I did 175 for a set of 10, 180 for a set of 9. RDLs are feeling fantastic lately. They felt great today. It didn't feel overly heavy. Didn't feel like overly taxing. I think like for me, it's going to be a very, very exciting day when I am doing 200-pound RDLs, which I don't believe is that far in the future. I don't see them slowing down at all. So I'm really, really happy with that. It's just like an exciting milestone, I guess, for me to reach because I don't do regular deadlifts from the floor anymore. So, PRs are exciting numbers in that sense. It would just be strictly with the RDLs. And as far as I'm concerned, having a 200-pound RDL is great. I'm pretty darn happy with that. Also, on this day, as in the day that I am speaking, not on the day that I am uploading, and not on the day that I did this exercise, the day that I'm speaking. It's a secret day. You don't know which day it is. But there is a day that I'm speaking that's neither of those two things. On this day, yesterday, I had what I call my Mother's Day in lieu because my son was working on the official Mother's Day, and then I was working a few days after it. So we pre-scheduled a Mother's Day in lieu. And so he has this little barbecue. He bought a little barbecue for my mom's backyard. And so he grilled me up some fantastic, fantastic food. I had some really nice spicy grilled chicken thighs and a bunch of grilled veggies, some grilled sweet potatoes. And he just put some naan bread, or is it naan? Naan or naan? I don't know. I feel like either way I make it butchered. But anyways, naan bread. Oh, everybody says naan bread. Anyways, sorry. Yeah, and that was a delicious dinner, and I had one of my mom's homemade brownies, and then we went off to Elk Island. So I do have a little bit of footage for you guys, which I know, I'm sorry, it's redundant. This is like my happy place. This is my favorite place to go. This is where it's like, if somebody asked me, Jen, where can I take you that would make you smile, I would say Elk Island. So you probably will get sick of it if you're not already. It's just my happy place, so sometimes I like to show you guys. And so I do have a little bit of footage from there. And I also would like to note that occasionally I have gone out for, of course, occasionally I have in my life gone out for dinner, gone out for dinner with my son and stuff. And I usually don't feel that great the next day. I usually don't perform that great the next day after a dinner. Like, I don't sleep very well after it either, and I mostly just feel like shitty and thirsty. But my son made me this delicious, and I would consider it somewhat indulgent just because it's a little bit less strict than my normal, quite strict dinners. And I didn't feel bad at all. I felt energized. I actually felt my workout the next day. I felt better. I slept totally fine. I didn't feel like bloated. I didn't have digestive problems, and I didn't feel overly thirsty. So it's like, you know what? That's it. From here on out, instead of going for dinner, I just want my son to barbecue me stuff because it tasted better than restaurant food, and I didn't have a negative reaction to it. So it's fantastic. It's just not, that's not something, never been one of these like, hey, want to come to a barbecue people because, well, I don't have any friends and nobody invites me anywhere. So why would I ever do that? I don't go to patio parties. One would need to have acquaintances or friends or the desire to socialize in such a setting, and I am not that person. So I don't get to have the tasty food part of it. I don't want the socializing of the people. But I do want the food. And so now I've lucked out, and my son, I guess, will hopefully occasionally barbecue for me. But so outside of that, afterwards we head over to Elk Island. We saw some of my favorite animals, which is a bison. And so I'll just upload. I took a couple of boring video. Well, you might think they're boring. I think they're thrilling as hell. I'll upload these videos at the very end of this video, so stay tuned. It's coming up, y'all, if you want to see my encounters with some bison. Bye. Wow, I can actually hear him chewing that grass. Hey guys, there's so many bison here. Look. There's actually so many of them. Oh my gosh, they're looking at me. They're looking at, now they're going away. They're going away.